Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm glad you're here today. Whether you are a new viewer or you are returning, thank you for spending a little bit of your time with me today. As you can hear, I am being serenaded by nature and I love it. This is the last morning that we're here. We'll be leaving here in a couple hours and I'm kind of sad to go. But I am excited that I can spend a little bit of this time this morning on this front deck with y'all. It's been raining every day that we've been here, so this is the first time we've got to enjoy, or I've got to enjoy this outdoor space. Usually I'm in the cabin. We have a few of the windows pulled up because it has floor-to-ceiling windows, and it brings nature inside without getting wet because this guy is not a covered porch. So anyway, the bird made me lose my train of thought. So I have a lot of different clips that I'm going to show y'all. I can't remember exactly all the clips that I took. I have been editing or trying to edit so much along. I have got some knitting done on a couple projects, so I'm excited about that. And we still have the road trip home, which is about 6 hours. So I'll probably be working more then too. And the clips that I do have will not have my family in it because they prefer to stay off camera. And I respect that, you know. Well, I have video of my family. I'm just not going to insert it because they prefer me not to. And I respect that. I understand it. This is my grandson's birthday trip, so that's all that mattered. I did try to get some content for y'all, but mostly it was good family time. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, grab your project, grab your drink, and I may end up, I don't know quite how the rest of this video is going to go yet. It depends on what happens when we get home. Going down my driveway. I was so ready to get started on this trip. I tell you what. Now, I am doing this voiceover because I was not certain of what how these clips were going to go. And I think I'm as bad at voiceovers as I am at compiling clips. But now you have seen this project that I'm working on in the video here. This is my knitted hand towel, using that peaches and cream yarn. I can't remember the exact name of it. It is lavender flower, something along those lines. It's not spelled. It looks like it's spelled in the French spelling, but it turned out to be such a beautiful towel. And y'all seen this, so you know already. But the funny thing is you're probably knitting or crocheting while you're watching me do this, and while I am doing it on camera, I'm also doing the voiceover while I'm working on my t-shirt. So I'm knitting while I'm doing a voiceover of me knitting and traveling while you're knitting or crocheting probably. Because that's what I do when I watch other podcasters that I'm either knitting or crocheting. I'm working on something. My hands are never idle, that's for sure. Now this one right here, I'm trying to remember. It was most of South Carolina that I did this recording. All right. So I had used a partial ball, and this was my new ball. And the thing about that, you see how it's wound? You can't pull it off unless you do it outside. If you work
from the outside in, maybe, but I can't do that very well. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to roll this puppy into a ball. And yes, I have a coffee nip in my mouth. It's a little piece of hard candy. So I apologize. I thought that I had zoomed in enough, and I don't know how well to do that in editing mode. So I do apologize for you seeing that part. But I'm not eating, I'm just moving the hard candy around in my mouth. And, you know, my dentist says, don't chew that stuff, so I try not to chew. Even though it's very, very hard, because once it gets soft, I want to just chomp on it. Now, this one right here, I did originally tie a knot right there so that I could tie the new ball on. But I ended up untying it so that it would not leave the big knot on it, and I just wove them in later. Oh, see, yep, I'm taking the knot out because I'm thinking better of it. Because it's always better, you know, to weave in the end instead of. Now I know there's a way that you can do that to where it doesn't get in the way of each other, and it looks a lot more natural. I haven't tried that a whole lot. But see, I'm sitting back there just enjoying the ride. My son's driving, my husband's up there with him, and I'm just back there knitting away. I mean, there was parts of the conversation to where I was just listening to them. Yeah, I would join in every now and again, but it was mainly just, you know, enjoying being in the back seat and working on my knitting. Oh yeah, y'all can see where I purled all the way to the end instead of knitting those last 10 stitches. But that actually worked in my favor later because that was that was a surefire way for me to tell which was mine and which was Tina's when I was setting the color and everything, and I wouldn't mix the two towels up. But I had a ball back there working on that towel. Now I'm about to show y'all some clips of the trip, and now some of the I will have some highway scenes of mountains, yes, but I will also have some highway scenes of where Helene, yes, I had my, you know, I had my caffeine, um, but there's some clips of where Helene wiped, where it wiped out I-40. So see, we're here in South Carolina, just at the last 20 minutes of the ride. Before this, we started to see mountains, and here we're crossing into North Carolina right here. But um, if the idea of seeing the devastation that Helene, you know, the how can I say it? If it's going to upset you to see the interstate tore up, you know, just keep that in mind. It is under construction and they're working on it. And look at these beautiful mountains. I just wanted to warn you that will be coming up. And I do apologize. There is a lot of traffic in some of these clips, but you know, it would be the same thing if you were driving down I-40. I think actually still on 26. No, we're on 40 there. I'm about to say I might still be on 26. But I think it's in Asheville that we got on I-40. And I-40 Helene didn't really destroy I-40 until it got closer up toward Tennessee. But that was a beautiful drive up there. Just absolutely beautiful. And I love looking at the mountains when I'm traveling. Now, this is where I was saying a lot of this traffic right here, it's normally 4 lanes through here right now, it's only two, one each way, because Helene, it was just so much water for so long. That Pigeon River that runs right beside I-40, it took that whole side of the interstate completely gone in a lot of different places. Now you can see they're working and getting it all back, trying to get it built back up. But we are 2 years past Helene, or uh, September will be 2 years. So we're just shy of 2 years. And it's probably going to take them another 2, maybe 3 years. Sorry, that was my phone, and it was very obnoxiously loud. But it'll probably take another 2 to 3 years to get it built back up. But you can see they're doing leaps and bounds to get it done. And we came last year. Oh, getting into Tennessee now. We came last year, and none of this had been done. It was sheer. Now this, you can tell where they've cleaned it up and they're trying to start rebuilding it. It was just jagged earth last year. It was it was it was a lot worse looking. So they are steadily making improvements, and I think it's amazing how quick they're working. It's just it's it's amazing how much destruction Mother Nature can do. And yes, these clips are a little bit abrasive sometimes. I do apologize for that. But y'all see little Pigeon River right there?
So, this part right here, I'm taking on the last day of my trip because this is the first morning I have woken up and it's been not raining. But give me a second and I'll get up on the porch. So, it has a beautiful deck, and we have to be out of here in a couple hours. And this is the first time I've been able to be out here by myself first thing in the morning without the rain. I haven't got to enjoy these chairs at all, and they're beautiful. I do wish it was like the other one to where we had the covered porch. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, here's more clips.
Okay. Well, that was a little abrupt. I apologize for that. I'm not used to doing voiceovers, but I got a little bit of the shot of the interior of the cabin, and you know, only thing I can say is I appreciate my son. We would not have been able to afford to rent this cabin. This is all of my son's doing for his son's birthday. And this is actually, as I walked through, this is what was carved in to the back of that path pass through, and then the doorway. I thought it was gorgeous. But you see those windows that I was telling y'all about, how beautiful that is. Now this is the place I only went like once or twice because I don't do stairs very well. So this was coming down onto the bottom floor where my son, my grandson, and my daughter-in-law stayed. We never used the card table. We did play a few of the video games a few times. My grandson and my sons, they played it more than I did, but like I said, I couldn't get down there very often. I hope this is playing. I hope this is recording for y'all. I don't think it is, but we're gonna Tennessee. So this is their bathroom downstairs. And this is where we did our helicopter ride. My grandson was so apprehensive about this, and it was a 4 minute trip. No, it was a, yeah, it was, we were up in the air for 4 minutes. That's it. But he was so apprehensive about it, so I'm glad that he got to experience it. Um, and that is Douglas Lake, I believe, that you see way out there. Forgive the weather, we did all this the day before we left. And caught a clip of my son. That's me at Big Red, which is Blake Shelton's restaurant. Old Red, sorry, not Big Red. And I told y'all I got some knitting in on the Aria tee. Well, here I am in the cabin, first thing in the morning. One of the many many mornings that I did. I did try to record quite a few times that I knitted, but I wasn't able to. Um, Let me see. I can't remember if I don't see any sound, so it might, instead of me trying to use sound for that, I'll just continue the voiceover because the window is open over there, and you could kind of hear. I don't know if the microphone on my camera picked it up, but the rain was so beautiful, and there wasn't a whole lot of birds, but I still could hear some. And I thoroughly enjoyed just sitting there. I did cut the light on only for filming purposes because it was so bright with all of those windows in there. I didn't have to for actual for my knitting, for me being able to see my knitting. But and the funny thing is while I'm doing my voiceover here, I'm working on the exact same t-shirt because this thing seems like it's taking forever. And I have made a few t-shirts. I've made a couple t-shirts. I've made a tank top. And this one has taken forever. I don't know if it's because I'm not enjoying it as much. Because this Bella Coco yarn is just, it's not the best. But I did enjoy sitting there, spending my quiet time in the mornings, just knitting and honestly enjoying the quiet. In fact, as I'm sitting here doing this voiceover, it's probably about 8:15, 8:30, and I'm looking out my window now, and it looks a lot different than that did. Now, this is when me and my daughter-in-law went down to Gatlinburg, me, her, and my grandson, and this is the route from our cabin. And you see how the low ceiling, I mean, they don't call it the Smoky Mountains for nothing, right? But I wanted to catch some footage, and yeah, see, it's raining. That was after, that wasn't long after the helicopter ride on this. And I had wanted to leave because the sound of that rain, look, you can see the mountains back there covered in that low ceiling. And the funny thing is even without the rain, you still see that. It's just part of the Smoky Mountains. Now, it's been a minute since we was up there in the mountains, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So I'm spending the last bit out here knitting, drinking me some. You see the dew on the on the rocker. I have my sparkling ice. I have my knitting. I'm a happy camper. I'm just enjoying this out here while I wait for my family to get up and we finish packing and getting on our way home. I hope you've enjoyed the video. At the very end, I will hush up and get some just sounds for y'all. But regardless of what you have going on in life, I hope you do find some joy in your day. There's some to be found every day. Isn't that beautiful? I love how that's coming out. But hopefully you can find something to find your joy and make your day just a little bit brighter. I will see y'all in the next one. I did get to go to a particular shop, and that video is coming, in which I will show you the shop. I'll show you the yarn I have. I might even try to grab my thickest thing my grandson got from that same shop. So until my next video, take care of you, and I will see y'all then. Bye. I wish I could have saw him. He was a few steps away on the power line, just staring at me, but it took me forever to get my phone out. Hope you enjoyed my little clip of a squirrel.
Okay, sorry about that again. Here I am making a very hard transition. So I have never in my life been at a Buc-ee's until this trip. um, I there was one right there. If we kept going through Pigeon Forge, through Sevierville, so here is. I'm just gonna include this clip here at the end so you can see I had never been to a Buc-ee's before, and I probably won't go back because this was, I think this is the second largest Buc-ee's in the United States, and it was just way too much for me. But it was an experience.